Faces and Heels podcast. One handsome devil. Your host, Jack Purcell. Scissor me, daddy ass. Louis Perry, here comes. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. Faces and Heels podcast.
Welcome to the Faces and Heels podcast. Is Vince McMahon in charge? Is Triple H in charge? Tonight, Louis Perry, Jack Purcell are in charge of bringing you the best wrestling podcast in the Northeast.
I'm confused about that whole thing. I mean, Vince McMahon is he needs to go away. I say it time and time again. BST, yeah, we're going to talk about that. That was, well, I mean, I know they're our partner, double sponsorship, and it's going to sound like we are, you know, tooting our own horn and doing whatever. But last Saturday night was an amazing show. And if you are in the New England area or down in southern Connecticut and you weren't there, you missed one hell of a show. I mean, Kevin and Manny put on such a show. The talent was rocking. Mother Endless made her BST debut.
Yeah.
And oh my God. And it was just like, she was just amazing. Yeah, you know, we're gonna get to everything. Phil's in the house saying, "Evening, yo, what's going on, Phil?" Yes, and she
What's
autographed a
happening?
bunch of those cards for you. And
Yeah.
Eric's in the house saying, "Hey, yeah, her table was right next to you. Thick Daddy Andy Brown was right next to you. It was hilarious. What was hilarious? Rather, excuse me. I'm like still tired. Next to Andy, well, Thick Daddy, some of the mid card guys had a table, and I don't know. Did you see my interaction with them guys?
Sure did. I heard it and saw it.
When they found out exactly now, well, who Emily from Angry Geeks, Quinderella, when they found out who we were, they kind of did a double back because they were selling their merch. Man, you gotta give them credit. I wish I could remember their names, but they were mid card guys, and they were doing their hardest. They were catcalling people. They were trying to get people to get over to their tables. They wanted to sell 8x10s. They wanted to sell, you know, T-shirts and everything. And they were just like, come over here, come over here, come over here. And it was so funny. And of course, I was hanging out with you, Jack. Emily and I were taking pictures because we had people that were Angry Geeks T-shirts on, Faces and Heels T-shirts on. It was amazing, you know, and it was just like, it was a BST event, but we had our people there, and it was just crazy. And Eric goes, gotta buy the merch. Yeah. And they were like, they started talking smack to me, and they go, well, what's your name? And all I did was, the funniest thing ever was I just looked. They had an Angry Geeks banner, hey, right over the ring. I just pointed, and I was like, I'm your sponsor. All three of the guys, their faces turned extremely white, and they were like, "We are so sorry," and it was hilarious. It was a good time.
Well,
Joseph's in the
Brad
house.
Baylor's already pretty white, so I don't know if he got much more white, but
No, but it was funny. It's like, can I buy you a glass of water? No. Good evening, Joe. Joe, you definitely have to come as a guest to one of the BST events. I think you would have a blast. Just amazing. Just amazing. We'll talk about that when Joe's one of our guests.
That's
which
right,
is
and
shortly,
we'll
right?
talk
Yeah.
about that. We'll get the next 3 weeks worth of guests we're going to talk about, and Joseph is one of them.
Okay.
But we should talk about double sponsorship. We had the Faces and Heels versus the Angry Geeks sponsoring both Andy Brown, the Thick Daddy,
Hmm.
and Bobby Buffet.
Hmm.
And
And
we
I
should
think
take
it
that.
was just poor. I think it was poor officiating, or I think it was just poor um, counting. The timekeeper didn't know how to read a clock. That's what stupid millennials nowadays. They can't read a wall clock, and that was the wall clock on the wall. It wasn't digital.
Right, it
Okay,
wasn't
it
digital, it
was
wasn't
a
on TikTok.
no, right. It wasn't on TikTok. It was an old fashioned analog clock on the wall. It was only a 10-minute time limit, and he couldn't tell time. And I mean, my guy, yes, it was Eric. It was a hoss fight, for sure. Eric Hunting comes in and says that must have been a hoss fight. We had Thick Daddy, Angry Geek sponsor Thick Daddy. He
What?
had Bobby Buffett down for the 1, 2, 3, and once that, you know, the referee came down 1, 2, and before he can hit that three, the bell rang for the time limit. What the hell was that? What the hell
I
was
think you
that?
just flipped the sponsorship. I think you had Bobby Buffet and Angry
No, no,
Geek
no, no,
had
no, no,
Andy
no,
Brown.
sir, no, sir. Because if you remembered right, and the timekeeper, of course, the ring announcer, of course, blew the spot. The Angry Geeks had Thick Daddy. Thank you very much.
We'll go
Yeah.
back and watch that on YouTube.
Oh, of course we will. Of course we will. You had Bobby Buffett. Yes, you did.
Bobby Buffet. Okay, well,
Yeah,
well,
you did.
the good news is that we have a four corners, or I guess that's what we're going to call it, a four corners title match at the next BST show featuring both Bobby Buffet and Thick Daddy Andy Brown against Lucas
Against Lucas
Chase
Chase. Yeah,
and a
and
mystery opponent.
a mystery opponent that, yeah, that do I know who it is, or maybe not. I don't know. I got it.
I might know who it
Mum's
is
the
too.
word. Oh, so you've been talking to Kevin and Manny too, have you?
I sure have.
Uh, Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. I watched a very, very little of it, but we all knew what Trish was going to do. We all knew Trish Stratus was going to turn her back on her best friend,
God, I mean,
Lita.
have
Yeah,
we gone back in time 10 years to the way women are booked in pro wrestling? That was some of the worst. First of all, that match is just sloppy all over. And we all, we
yep.
understand there were some travel issues, blah, blah, blah. But what is going on with these random pairings of Raquel Rodriguez? You don't know who she's with. Now she's with Liv Morgan all of a sudden and they win the belts.
Well, they don't know what to do with her. They don't know
Oh,
what to do with Liv Morgan anymore,
you don't know what to
and
do with any of them.
I know, and it is. It's just it's. I don't know. It's just.
I know. Get it together. The booking in general has been spotty since Vince has gotten back in control. WrestleMania was great. All of a sudden, Monday Night Raw,
No,
nope.
no, I would not say WrestleMania was great. Night one was great, and then it was like night two was not great at all. So
I
that's
don't know.
my
What did you
opinion.
think
I
then?
night two was, oh my god, night two was not great at all once that person showed up. And I mean, what the hell is that?
Yeah, it's beyond a midlife crisis. It's rough. That mustache. Whew.
I know, and I don't know. And Eric comes in and says the women's division has been sloppy for a while.
It
It's
has,
just
but it's been worse over the last couple of months. I mean, there was a period of time where it seemed like they were pulling out of a nosedive, but I mean, it's just all the random pairings. Liv Morgan pinning Trish Stratus. Like, I don't get that at all. I thought that match was absolutely horrific.
it was. It was. I watched it, did not like it, not at all.
And
And
who knows? Maybe they had a last minute rewrite. We don't know, but it sure seemed like it. There had to be some reason why there were so many sloppy spots, so many apparent miscommunications. It really didn't work. There was zero chemistry. And now we've got Raquel and Liv Morgan as the champions.
well, not all. Well, there were so many botches too. I mean,
Yeah.
Dominic, Melissa comes in, and Melissa says trying to act young.
Oh,
Uh,
she's talking about Vince. Yeah. Yeah.
she's talking about Vince.
The shoe polish
Yeah,
is not working for him.
no, not at all. I mean, it's just like a couple months ago we had this, and then he comes back to this. It's like
Uh,
Elizardo? What the hell? I mean, it's like what?
yeah, it's sad, really. I mean, I
It,
don't know
it
what's
is. It
going
is
on.
sad. It's very sad. Um, it's kind of scary too. Phil comes in and says Mania night one best surprising match. Ripley versus Flair. Yeah, and where is Charlotte now? She's gone. I mean,
Outrageous match. That was maybe the best match of WrestleMania weekend.
I would believe so. Yeah, I would say that. I would say now there's rumors going around. We know this, and before we get to Melissa's um comment, there's rumors going around that Charlotte wants out of her contract, that Drew is not renewing his contract. It's crazy. Jack, want to read Melissa's contract?
Yeah, Melissa says Melissa's got a contract. What? She's not part of the show.
Melissa's comment. Excuse me.
Melissa says, I think Liv and Raquel need to go back to NXT and get their character together. Yeah, who are they? Don't know.
Yeah.
And then Phil says the mustache is to hide from the authorities. He saw it in an old black and white movie.
It could be.
Eric Hunting says she's going to do a bodybuilding competition. That's right. And she's traveling
Oh,
with her husband. So, yeah,
yeah.
she's not going anywhere. Joseph Bruin says Ripley versus Charlotte stole the weekend. Totally agree 100%. And Melissa says yes with lots of S's.
Yes, I believe so too. I mean, we could stare at this picture all day and just make fun of it.
Oh, let's not.
He has to know that he looks ridiculous. I mean, somebody must have looked at him and said, "You look ridiculous."
Well, he's as out of touch with his looks as he is booking wrestling. So, I mean, it's kind of par for the course.
I, I mean, somebody must have just looked at him and said, "You are the most stupidest person I've ever seen. Please
The
go away."
most stupidest? I hope they didn't
Yeah,
say that because I would have said, hey, check your grammar at the door, pal.
I mean, it's somebody had to have. You know, I mean,
Your trademark is stupidity.
yes, somebody must have said that to him.
So Phil Locklear says Flair said to be taking a break for several months at least. What I'm hearing is she's taking a break to compete in a bodybuilding competition. You might have noticed her abs were a little extra shredded at that WrestleMania match, and
Was she trying to be Jordan Grace?
traveling with Andrade, who apparently is ready for a return to AEW. Melissa says, wonder if she's going to have a little Flair. Hey, who knows?
Yeah,
Eric,
but I mean, Jordan Grace has taken time off to compete in a bodybuilding competition, and she is cut. I mean, she is just like she does not look like Jordan Grace of old. I mean, she is just like dynamically cut, like she belongs on the cover of Muscle Fitness. I don't think, as in a bodybuilding standpoint, that Charlotte Flair could even compare to Jordan Grace in her body as a bodybuilder. What are your thoughts on that, Jack?
only one way to find out. She has to go through the training, dehydrate herself, get a fake tan, and see what happens. She's really shredded. If you look at what Jordan Grace looked like at the beginning of her pro wrestling career, you would never have thought bodybuilder. And then amazing the transformation she underwent.
Oh yes,
Charlotte's
yeah.
already shredded, so I don't have any lack of confidence she could do it.
All right, if you say so. Eric Hunting comes in.
Eric says maybe the women he paid all that money to like the mustache. Somebody's got to like it, man. It doesn't hurt that he's a billionaire and he's in the top 1,000 richest people. I don't know if it's the country, the world, but he's super rich, so that doesn't hurt. Eric also says Jordan placed first in 2 divisions and first overall.
Yeah, I mean, she's like super jacked, and I hope,
Yeah,
hopefully,
amazing.
yeah, she does not stop, wrestling and continues on with the bodybuilding. I mean, I don't want to see her uh, lose her in ring capabilities.
No, not at all. No, I certainly hope this is just sort of a prove it to yourself you can do it kind of thing, and then she gets back to wrestling. But who knows what her priorities are? Joseph again says almost should have won. It was a squash match.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Joseph's right.
Well,
There
yeah,
is.
100%. But we didn't know Brock was going to be the next challenger for Cody, so that
Uh,
was what they were setting up.
yeah, but again, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It was El Vincio's um, say. It had to have been. It had to have been his say in the whole thing.
Right. Well, think about it. He's not going to let Cody win the belt from his guy. Cody quit on him, and Roman Reigns has been his project for the last umpteen years. So, of course, he wasn't going to let Cody win. Who knows if Triple H would have booked it differently? We'll never know.
No, we won't. We won't. But do you actually think Triple H forgot that Cody smashed the throne?
Who cares? He knows it's show business. He gets it. Triple H
Yeah,
is one of those.
I know Triple H is very business savvy, and I know that he gets it. But what is funny to me, and to me, I keep thinking that Cody smashing the throne was just like last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I can't, I can't. To me, it's not like it was 4 years ago. It was just like it was last year. Like, yeah, did he do that last year? The couple, a year ago? But no, it was a long time ago. But do you really think that he would, that Triple H forgot that? Don't know. Now,
I
what was
don't care.
now? He Cody mentioned it last night on Raw. A lot of people sent it to me. My kids sent it to me. The rubber chicken that was meant for Roman, they say, but it ended up next to Cody in the ring. Does anyone know exactly where that came from and what the scoop was?
Joseph says four-way men's tag was also fantastic.
Yes, it
100%.
was.
100%. Awesome match. Great showcase.
Yeah. Now, does anyone know about the rubber chicken?
Not me.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I think that image is all over the internet.
I know, but I mean, it was the funniest thing in the world. It just showed up and it was there. And Cody did address it last night. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, can you guys pull it up? Can you find that for me, please?
Are you talking to
Yeah.
the crew in the
Okay.
back
Yeah. They said they got it. They're gonna pull it up right now.
in the truck?
No, just over there in the corner. We
Oh,
ain't got no truck. they're they're over in the corner.
sitting in the recliner.
Yeah, right there. That that's just insane. And Cody did bring that up. It says, "What's more embarrassing than 40,000 people staring at you with a rubber chicken next to you?" I don't understand why that was meant for Roman.
Well, I don't get it at all. Who cares? Such a weird non sequitur. I don't know. It's weird that people choose to put so much energy towards it. I don't get it.
I thought it was I thought it was kind of funny when I saw it. I mean, not as funny as that. Thank you guys, but it was. I don't know. I don't know. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
So I'll tell you
But yeah,
something not as hilarious is that WWE supposedly, and kind of connected, I'm coming around to this, has
okay.
supposedly had a hiring freeze going on over the last few months. And when Cody Rhodes, like you mentioned, his promo on Raw last night, when he was doing his promo, he referenced Matt Cardona, who, as we know, was rumored to be joining his wife back on the main roster. That didn't
Correct.
happen. So
Yeah, he did. He did mention Matt. He says, "My good friend Matt told me, hey, you still main event at WrestleMania," and I was like, "Yeah, but Matt's not being hired right now because it's a
right.
hiring freeze going on because of the fact that of the sale to."
Not really even a sale though. It's funny that they're talking about it like a
Yeah,
sale, it's a merger.
it's It's a merger. It's more of a partnership. It's not a sale. Um, what is it? 49% that
Yeah, it's
WWE saw.
49-51.
Yeah, and Triple H comes out, of course, last week says nothing's going to change. Yada yada yada. But El Kabong is still there and wrecking everything. So El Kabong, they changed the name of the file to El Kabong. Stop it, guys! You're making me break out.
That crazy
Ah,
crew.
10 cents if you could tell me where El Kabong comes from.
I don't have the dime, brother.
It was the Flintstones.
Obscure reference number one.
No, number two, because you didn't get my name, W.C. Cogswell.
Yeah, but that was off the air. You're right.
Oh, yeah, true, true. Phil says, are we taking bets on how long before McGregor shows up on WWE? Do we really think now, Joe? This is something for Joseph. Do we really think that they're going to cross promote like that? I know McGregor did stuff before, but do we really think they're going to take UFC guys and cross promote and have them start calling people out? Because I think it's gonna be a mess if they do. Eric Hunting says, "Please God, no." Um, they will cross promote hard, says Phil. But I want to hear Joe's. Joe is very old school like me, so I want to hear Joseph's comment. Jack, what do you think? Do you think they will do that?
There's going to be times they'd be foolish not to do it, but I mean, I don't think you're going to see them bring Conor McGregor in to do any in-ring work. He's as stable as nitroglycerin, and they're not looking for their athletes to get hurt.
All right, and Joseph comes in with a comment. Jack?
Joseph says cross promote, absolutely, but not really mixing the two worlds on a physical level, in my opinion. 100%, Joseph, I'm with you.
Okay.
They'd be foolish not to have the Undertaker in the audience like it's happened before, and vice versa. Maybe do an in-ring promo, but in terms of them crossing paths with the athletes, I don't see any reason why they would do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It will just leave a bad taste in my mouth. And Phil comes in with another.
Phil says, look what they just did with Trump back in the day and mixed politics hard into the business. I don't think they involved Trump when politics were part of it, but certainly Trump and Vince's wife were working in tandem, but Trump was
I thought
pre-politics.
he had to. I thought
He was
somebody.
still a failed reality star at that point.
I thought who got his head shaved?
It was the
Did
Bobby
Trump get?
Lashley match. That was Vince got his head shaved, but Trump was a failed reality star at that point. He was doing the "you're fired" shtick, right?
Okay.
And then Phil says, "Oh yes, Rock the Vote was all WWE." Yeah,
Okay.
WWE. They make some interesting choices. But with this choice in UFC, I mean, I mean, think about it. They aren't that far removed in terms of the genre they're in. So for them to fuel a little fire here and there, I don't think that hurts at all. But for them to get involved physically with UFC fighters versus wrestlers, it's just opening a can of worms they don't want. Melissa says, do you think Endeavor they will get rid of Peacock and have ridiculous pay-per-view prices? I don't think so, Melissa, and I'll tell you why. People have these weird fears when mergers and buyouts happen. So I'll give you a quick example because we like talking about comics here too. When Disney bought Marvel, everyone's worried. Oh, there's going to be Mickey Mouse alternate covers, all this nonsense. Guess what? There wasn't one. There's none of that. Disney bought Marvel because they like Marvel and they can make a lot of money with them. They can promote the shit out of them. Great merger. It made sense. It was a great purchase. This merger makes a lot of sense. UFC doesn't want to change WWE. I don't think they're foolish enough to get rid of the Peacock network and think that fans are paying more money for pay-per-views. That era is gone. We've been spoiled.
Yeah, I think that well, the Peacock Network, their contract with WWE goes on for another couple years. I think it's up to 2026, I believe. 2027 is what they said when this whole Endeavor thing started. So I don't think they will, and maybe they'll move to another app. but I don't think Peacock will allow that to happen because you know how many subscribers they will lose because the app was a failing app to begin with. But everyone jumped on there because of the WWE Network. I mean, I for one, we got it only for that. I mean, there's not much. They don't offer much on there. I mean, we only tune in for the pay-per-views, and I don't think the astronomical prices are really going to be worth it anymore. Right now with AEW, you're paying $50 for every AEW pay-per-view, and are they really worth it? Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Sometimes I can go, I won't watch it because the next day you can find everything on YouTube. So
Yeah, right, right,
it's
right, right.
yeah, it's like why?
Yeah, it's shooting
Why,
yourself
why,
in the
why?
foot. It wouldn't be good business. And Phil says, will we now see WWE in Vegas being with Endeavor? No, I don't think so. That I don't know. Is that would again be good business since WWE just bought a new headquarters. As a matter of fact, the new headquarters faces the train as it goes from Connecticut into the city. They're in the process of moving Titan Tower over there. It's a really nice
Mhm.
looking new building, by the way. So I don't see any reason why they would be making another investment to move everything across the country. I'm pretty sure you're going to see WWE stay here.
Okay, Eric Hunting says that main reason I have Peacock, and Joseph comes back and he says I think Peacock has a great WWE library now. Check it out; it's pretty deep. Yeah, Joe, we had that conversation before. I just have so much to do; I haven't gotten there yet. Um, and it's like I have other things I need to watch, so I haven't really was able to dive in there. I want to watch the Dusty Rhodes thing on A&E. I haven't gotten there yet. Certain things take priority, and I'm sorry about it. If it was Macho Man, I would have been all over it. But it's just I haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
Not yet.
So here's another interesting hire. There's a couple interesting hires, rehires going on at WWE and AEW. So evidently, WWE before the hiring freeze took place hired Eric Young back. And I don't know
Mm.
if they were planning on bringing Sanity back or what their plan was, but he was specifically hired for a pro wrestling role, not for a backstage presence, not as a trainer, nothing like that. And he hasn't made a single appearance yet. So maybe for the same reason we didn't see any call-ups on the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania. The draft is coming up. That was Triple H's announcement on SmackDown last Friday. Do you think that's what they're saving to maybe shake up the draft and make it more interesting as we see surprises like Eric Young, maybe we see Steiner Jr., stuff like that?
Maybe, but I think the draft is useless. I
It
mean,
is.
the last time we had the draft was what, right before COVID, and or right during COVID, and it doesn't. So what if we have the draft and we do stuff? They shake up tag teams. They do this. They do that. But then 6 months later, it all kind of goes to crap, and things. We got SmackDown stars over on Raw, and tag teams get back together because crap doesn't seem to be working the way they want it to work. So the draft is kind of senseless.
Well, look who
It's
opened
just
Monday Night Raw. Who opened Monday Night Raw?
yeah. It was
Rey
Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio, right? And
Yeah,
then the
because
Usos were on it. The brand split means nothing. So what I'm saying is,
yeah,
can they make it meaningful by bringing people like Eric Young into the fold, new faces from NXT?
correct.
Me, I'm just trying to make sense. Like, why bother with it? Because it makes no sense to even have it.
Yeah, and Eric comes in with a great comment. Thank you guys. It says ratings grab. Yeah, it is. No,
Maybe I don't know. Is it? Is it a ratings grab? I
uh,
don't know.
well, I mean, the place did when Triple H announced it. I really want Joseph's opinion on this. You should have been on with us tonight for this conversation. Um, yes, I think it is because the place did go nuts for the draft, and I mean, even my two boys, Cody and Neil, they were like, "Yeah, the draft is back!" Whoa! I'm like,
Really?
"What
I
the
just
fuck?"
can't. I mean, how do you get excited for it at this point, knowing how
I know.
meaningless?
I was like, "What are you guys stupid?" This is the most idiotic thing in the world. Melissa comes back.
Melissa says, with the draft, are they going to separate the titles now? Again, I think that's exactly where we're going with this conversation,
But
Melissa.
how? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No,
You
Melissa.
got
No
to do something to
disrespect.
make it
Wait,
meaningful.
I know that. No disrespect. But how are they going to separate the titles when one guy still has them?
Backlash is coming up. Something interesting could go on. Who knows?
Who are they going to get the title to? Okay, because Roman, who's Roman going to wrestle? Because they already signed Cody versus Brock Lesnar at Backlash. So who's Roman going to wrestle?
Triple threat.
Against who?
I don't know. Cody versus Brock versus. Well, it can't be because now Brock can't get a title match, right? Yeah, I don't know. Let's think about it, right?
Well,
So
and Eric says what?
Eric says, "True heel. Just called his kid stupid. Love it. Thank you, Eric. You
Oh,
identify with the heel
Eric,
guy."
you have no idea, brother. You have no idea what I call my kids. Jack knows.
Yeah, you should have seen. They didn't show up at the BST show. This guy was like a profanity fountain.
Joseph comes in, but then again, my kids are over 21. Just so you know,
That's true. You're treating them like
yes,
adults, hardening them up for the tough world that's out there. Joseph
yeah, they
says,
still all live at home too.
the first draft was cool and it ended there. They have potential to make it special and make it work, but they always failed to do so. Again, Joseph, good point. But if Vince can just lay off, maybe Triple H can take the helm and put some thought into it, like the way he has done a lot of thoughtful storytelling and make it work. Joe McDonald says, "Yo, kids."
And Melissa,
Melissa says,
yes,
Jay wins one. Yeah.
yes, that's what I know. That's what I am thinking. And Joe McDonald comes in and says he won't wrestle anyone. He won't wrestle until Saudi.
Look confused.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. And we got hold on. Just everyone keep that in mind because no, dummy, wrong one. Yeah. Never mind. I was looking for the chirps. Because we all are confused on Joe McDonald's. Yes. Sorry, guys. Our sound equipment, our sound people were just a little messed up there.
Joe's just saying he's not going to wrestle until the Saudi show.
But who?
Look, who knows what they're going to do? Maybe he didn't wrestle within 30 days and Triple H strips him of one of the belts. Something stupid. They could have some dumb storyline like that.
There you go.
John McDonald says by the time he gets to Saudi Arabia, he'll be over 1,000 days. Right, which of course we know they're going to clearly take advantage of for whatever that might be worth. I don't know what it's worth.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
So we'll see AJ Styles return at the draft. We'll likely see Eric Young debut. We'll see some people from NXT be called up. If they don't do that, I mean, again, I know there's apparently some nostalgia for the draft, but it just is a waste of time. They can't possibly, with a straight face, do a draft like they have in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see the draft. I don't see the appeal. And oh my God, Melissa comes in and
funny here. What's going on?
I know.
Obviously, yeah. Wow, good one. Yeah, yep. Clearly, they're going to break that faction up, and that'll be a big rivalry.
Yes, for sure. I don't know, and I mean, well, you also got the misuse of LA Knight,
or lack of use.
Yeah, the lack of, and Bray Wyatt and his I'm taking my ball and going home again, and we don't know why. So it's just insane. How do we feel about AEW's new television program? It's like really pulling the curtain back big time.
I don't watch it. I don't know. Not interested.
All right. Joseph says Bray is a waste of money at this point. Yes, sad to say, and if my kid is watching, yeah, I would have to agree. They poured all this time and investment into bringing him back with the White Rabbit campaign. It had people invested. They were even setting up with Alexa, and it just it killed it. Yeah, and it's just did not work. Even his press conference after Extreme Rules, he was working it. and it was just blah. Joe McDonald says, personally, I like it. I only saw a couple bits and scenes of it, Joe, and I don't know. Uh, Joseph Bruin says, looking forward to finally checking out AEW All Access on my DVR. I only saw the Soraya and Britt Baker segment. That's all I seen, and it was kind of like they did not hold kayfabe at all, and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that. And Eric Hunting said it fell flat. I think he's referring to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it fell flat because they didn't do anything with it. It didn't make any sense. So I agree. Melissa says, was LA Knight supposed to win the Battle Royal? And with Bray not wrestling, that's why Bobby won. It seemed like there was potential for that. There were definitely rumors of it, but who knows? It just sounds like with Vince coming back into the fold, there was probably a lot of butting heads and rewrites and stuff like that. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's El Vincio is just I don't know. I keep pulling that picture up.
Well, it's interesting too and again, we could speculate all we want, but it does seem like the fact that Vince is back in the fold to some degree has deterred any rumored people who may have been leaving AEW to come to WWE or return to WWE from doing so, because Brian Cage just re-signed with AEW. He was rumored to be speaking with WWE about a contract as his ran out. And then FTR. And who knows? Again, we don't know what their intentions were. They may have never had intentions of going back to WWE. But, I mean, this seems to have cemented it where anybody who is thinking about it is staying put with AEW or wherever they're at. Phil Locklear says, unsure about AEW right now after the 30-minute laughter about Cody losing.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Joe McDonald says, yeah, KFAB is totally out the window in that show. And Melissa comes in and says, the only reason I watch AEW is for MJF and Britt Baker. Oh, I totally agree. Two of the pillars.
Two good reasons.
Yep, and
Joe McDonald
what?
says, supposedly WWE was looking to add Dutch and Vincent to the Wyatt family. They were, because they actually appeared on NXT, but AEW scooped them up. Or sorry, Ring of Honor, AEW, whatever.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think people just don't like to work with Vince, so they're just like, no, we're gone, we're done, we're out. We don't want to do this anymore, you know. And so since he is out, we don't want to, we want nothing to do with it. Uh-oh! We all know what that is. It is time for old school trivia. Jack, are you ready? This week's old school trivia is brought to you by Alternate Universe LLC, where tomorrow is new comic book day. Make sure you go make sure you go down to Milford or New Haven, see Eric and the guys, and get your new comics from there. If you can't make it down there, give Eric a call. Ask him for those special books you want, back issues or anything, and I'm pretty sure he'll pack them up and he'll ship them right to you. So this week's question, Jack, who used the Ghetto Blaster? Who used the Ghetto Blaster?
Oh my God.
Was it Bad News Brown, Flash Funk, Iceman King Parsons, Men on a Mission, or Akeem?
Brother, I'm making it 4 in a row. You made it easy for me this week. And I know that one of your favorites had a great rivalry with the answer to this question, which was Bad News Brown.
You are correct, Jack. Oh my God, I am so happy for you. Yes, I did make it easy for you this week. I did 4 in a row. I'm so happy. I did. I made it very, very easy for you.
That was good, man. Thank you. You took some stress off of my plate.
I did. Plus, I was rushing really quick tonight to do the graphic, come up with a title of your show tonight, and do everything else. But next week, I will get you and
You
Eric
will, I'm sure.
for.
Eric Brown agrees.
Oh yeah,
Eric
yeah.
Brown.
That,
Eric
that,
Hunting says bad news Brown. He agrees with me.
yes. But next week I will get you. Maybe. And when I tell you what, when Joseph is a guest on the show, the gloves are coming off because I'm gonna get you both.
Oh, hey now.
Yes. Joe McDonald says.
Yeah, they showed up at the Ring of Honor taping in Kingston, Rhode Island Friday night. They sure did. And you know what? Even Steven even showed up there and they made their Ring of Honor debut. Axel
And
says, hey, gentlemen,
what's
Axel,
going on,
good
brother?
to
Thank
see
you
you.
very much for coming there and helping Jack and I out to the at the BST show on Saturday night. It was great. Our thoughts on the Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, I prefer not to think about it.
Oh my God! This year's Hall of Fame class was like they didn't know what to do. It's like, who do we pick? And they just like opened up a magazine, threw it in the air, and whoever it opened to, okay, that person, Rey Mysterio.
I think
Okay,
I think they were
Stacy.
I think they were counting on Batista, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, it was weird.
I did see Dan Barry, Eric. Good eye.
Um, I just thought this year's class was just very odd. It was just very odd, except for Muda. Muda deserved it. He was
Yeah,
like the only one. Melissa says that it was a very small class, which it was,
mercifully.
and but as far as Stacy and Ray, I mean Ray deserves to be in it, but not right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, of course, of
Um,
course.
and Axel says it was a weak class,
It just was
and
kind of like whatever, and I don't know. Like I honestly don't find it all that exciting to begin with. So for me, whatever. I don't put much weight on it, but I know some fans do, especially some of the old school fans. Phil says, and only 5 recipients. I mean, they could have come up with a dozen, but I think they just want to keep it short because they get so much bitching online about all their events going too long. And honestly, the Hall of Fame, who really wants to sit through it for 2 hours?
well, back in the day, it was we had the Slammy Awards, which was kind of stupid but fun.
Right.
Best match and stuff like that. I would rather see that. Um, and well, I don't know, Melissa. I don't know why Dana did not introduce the Warrior Award this year. I really, really don't know why she didn't do it.
She might have had
And
another
that is,
obligation. Who knows?
yeah, that's true. Or um, El Chapo came back and said, "No, we're going to do it this way." You never know. Um,
Joseph
and
said, I think he's saying Hall of Fame is my favorite evening of the night. It was an odd class, but I wouldn't say undeserving. Yeah, I don't think it was undeserving. I don't know about, the whole,
no, no, no,
what's
I'm
his
not
face?
saying.
Jerry Lawler's guy there. What's his face?
Oh, Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Just like,
Um,
whatever. Is he really, do we need him in the Hall of Fame? I mean, a lot of the non-wrestling people are, I feel like, just expendable in this sort of thing.
well, yeah, yeah, no, no, you're right. Like, how in the world did Kid Rock get in there?
Oh,
And
God.
it's just the Hall of Fame is not undeserving, not at all. But it's like I can think of a dozen people that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame well above Kid Rock or well above Andy Kaufman, even though Andy Kaufman did bring public eye to professional wrestling. I mean, we can have Argentina Rocca. We can have um, Haystacks Calhoun. We can have so many different people being in the Hall of Fame than Kid Rock and friggin' Andy Kaufman or Aretha Franklin or whoever the hell else
Is she
musicians
in
may
the
have
Hall of
in there.
Fame?
I don't know. I'm just saying, that they sang at WrestleMania. Let's put them in the Hall of Fame or Snoop Dogg. I'm like, why? What? No,
Yeah, we don't need
no.
Trump. We don't need Snoop Dogg. We don't need any of this stuff.
Exactly. I mean, if it is the
Oh, Bob
WWE.
Barker. Is Bob Barker, Sarah, sorry, Melissa just said, is Bob Barker in the Hall of Fame? I think he is.
But why? I mean,
Right, right. It's a
this
waste of
this
time.
yeah. If this is supposed to be the WWE Hall of Fame, if it's supposed to be a wrestling Hall of Fame, it should be just that. Okay. Joseph comes in and says,
I feel the legacy wing weakened it in a small way. The importance wasn't there, more of an afterthought. It's just filler. Yeah, it's just like, let's make some pop culture references.
"No, Will,
When
no,
they
Will, no,
when they have
Will."
a physical Hall of Fame. Oh my God, Pete Rose, get him out of there. All those guys, I don't get. I mean, really, like they don't belong there, and it's going to be really laughable if you're trying to get anyone to take pro wrestling seriously and bring them to the physical Hall of Fame, and then you see some of these people in there. It's going to be laughable. Joe McDonald says, Pampero Firpo. I don't know who that is for Hall of Fame. Who is that?
That
Donald,
guy.
Donald Trump sadly is in there, if you can believe that. But
Yeah,
he hosted some WrestleManias, yeah.
I mean, no, it shouldn't be. The Hall of Fame should be for wrestlers and for managers. That's it. Even if they have double personas, like the Masked Superstar, like Demolition is not even in there yet. Why?
Wild. It's wild.
I know, but they have Demolition held the tag team championship belt for so long. Why aren't they in there? Why aren't the head shrinkers in there? Right? It's like baffling to me. And Melissa says, "Green shirt guy." No,
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 I like him, but I don't want him in the
not
Hall of
not
Fame.
yes. And Pope Pepe says, "Yes, Coco Beware." Yes,
He says, "Is
he.
Frankie?" He's asking
Uh,
if
uh,
Frankie's in there.
oh, then Matilda must be in there,
Oh
or
man.
Winston.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so funny.
yeah. And
Joseph
Joseph
said
says
head
the head
shrinkers deserve
shrinkers
it.
deserve it for sure. Yes,
Sure,
or
why
the
not?
earthquake. I mean, Hercules Hernandez. It's
You mean people who busted their asses night after night, year
yes,
after year? Yeah, those are the people we want.
yes, for sure. I
Referees, I mean,
mean,
ring announcers, those are the people who actually contributed to the product on a regular basis who deserve it. Joe
oh God,
McDonald
I
says,
hope not.
give them a couple of years and they'll induct Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. Well, yeah, of course they're going to. Logan Paul is the biggest YouTuber there is, and the rate they're going, like some of these half-ass inductions, of course, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Hercules
I
in the
is in
Northeast
the
Hall
New
of
England
Fame.
Hall of Fame. Yeah,
Are we?
but I mean, I'm not really talking about the New England Hall of Fame. I'm talking, the average wrestling fan doesn't know about the New England Hall of Fame, Joe. The average wrestling fan only knows about the WWE, Hall of Fame. It's kind of like your fair weather fans. So they probably don't even know that exists. The WWE average fan doesn't even know independence exists. You have to remember that. It's sad to say, but they really don't. Only the hardcore wrestling fans know that the New England Hall of Fame exists. Only the hardcore fans know Independence List. I mean, if you really think about it, they didn't even know WCW existed back in the day. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah. Joseph says,
Can't induct Bad Bunny before Adam Rose's Bunny? Oh boy. Yeah.
"Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Adam Rose's Bunny probably did make much better contributions. Although I'm not hating on Bad Bunny. I like him and he did an amazing job in the ring, but he's just a celebrity guest. But actually, at least he contributed and wrestled, and so did Logan Paul, and they're both really good, as opposed to people who are just, celebrities of some sort who really aren't contributing.
And Joe says, I know that, just giving credit where credit is due, and I was there for the induction. Okay, cool. Cool.
Nice.
That's something I didn't know there, brother Joe. That is awesome. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that the WWE would stoop so low to do that. It's just, but then again, it's for the average fan. Oh yeah, watch this ratings. Yes, like
It's anything
No.
that'll get people to watch, you know. It's like, oh, you
Yeah.
have nostalgia for Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler here. Maybe you'll get watch wrestling now. And of course, if they do, they're gonna hate what's on now because it's not like Bruno Sammartino, and
Yeah.
most of these people are still living a long time
The
ago. So
Italian strongman. Yeah,
that's
of course.
and nothing wrong with
And
Bruno, but you know, we moved on.
no. Yeah, well, of course we moved on, but I mean, in the early 70s, all through the 70s, that's all you Bruno was on TV. Turn
Yeah.
on Channel 9, WOR TV. There was Bruno. Who's
And then
that guy? That's your
Bob
champion.
Backlund.
And until we have Bob Backlund, until we had superstar Billy Graham, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's what we had. Until we had 17, and then we had Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. And Joseph comes back in and says the Valiant Brothers. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's just, man, I can go on all night long and say, who should the Moondogs, for crying out loud, should be in there before Andy Kaufman.
Right. But you know, again, if this were really about the most deserving pro wrestlers, it'd be a different story. You know, they've got to mix it up, and they're trying to
I blame
please.
all this on Joseph. He brought it up. See, Joe, you go and get me all riled up before bedtime and everything. Now I'm gonna be like going to sleep and waking up in the middle of the night and S.D. Jones. I'm just gonna be, damn you, Joe.
Well,
Sweet Hanson.
we should also
I'm gonna
talk
think.
about some non-WWE stuff because we also want to thank a friend of ours who we're going to be seeing at Pro Wrestling Grind. Delmy Exo just won the MLW featherweight title. So talk about a company a lot of WWE fans don't know. But MLW's got all kinds of great talent right now. Main Event are tearing it up over there. Delmy just beat Taya Valkyrie for the featherweight title. Hammerstone's over there. Yeah, we've got all kinds. Jacob Fatu, tons of talent over there. Many of them we'll see in WWE, I'm sure, before too long when they start hiring again.
Yeah, I can't wait. Now the last Pro Wrestling Grind show that we were at just a couple weeks back, Jay Freddy tore the house down. Fantastic title defense for him. Uh, Becca was there. Joe just reminded me that Becca was
I
there.
think
Yeah,
Joe's talking about MLW, but yeah, she was also at Pro
yeah.
Wrestling Grind.
Becca was at Grind. A great talent, good friend of the show, and it was it was great. Now, did you go to or are you going to wrestling on Thursday night?
Wrestling Open?
Yeah, are you going to open?
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Leo Rush against Love Doug's happening. I'd love to see it. Don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to try actually the following week. So if I do go, I'll have all kinds of pictures to share on our social. Melissa says, I'm new here. Where are you guys from? We are from Western Massachusetts, and we cover a lot of the wrestling shows in New England, the Northeast, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, that kind of thing. But thanks
And we
for
can be
joining us,
found right
Melissa.
there. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for joining us. Just stick around, and we can tell you where you can find us at the top of the hour.
As a matter of fact,
Uh,
we're going to tell you about the next Pro Wrestling Grind show, which is going to be coming up on April the 28th. So if you're in the Northeast, that's going to be a really big show. And then on May 12th, coming up in Enfield, Connecticut, Blitzkrieg Pro is going to have a loaded roster, or sorry, not a loaded. They have a loaded roster. They're going to have a loaded card, which I can't talk about a lot of the matches yet, but CPA is going to be there. Andy Brown, who's the Blitzkrieg champion, is going to be there. And a big top contenders match. Anthony Henry, who you see on AEW a lot, is making his Blitzkrieg debut against VSK, who is also all elite. And they're going to be fighting for the number one contendership. And we're also going to see Ichiban, number one, against another guy who you've seen on MLW, Jordan Oliver, who's also making his Blitzkrieg Pro debut on May 12th in Enfield, Connecticut.
Now, let's not forget in June, and you'll be hearing more of this on both Angry Geeks and right here on Faces and Heels. BST coming back, blood, sweat, and tears, and we're going to be having Kevin from BST on. We're going to have the champion Lucas Chase will be on not only uh, Faces and Heels, but he's going to be on Angry Geeks to talk about his comic book and toy collection. Wow, he doesn't want to talk about wrestling. He said, if you guys talk about wrestling, I'm signing off. I want to talk about comics and comic books alone. But I'm going to see if I can squeeze a little bit of wrestling talk out of them, talking about the show coming up at Blood, Sweat, and Tears for June. Just wait and hold on. Get your tickets now for that, because that's going to be a banger.
I got
They
some
always
breaking
put on.
news that I want to break before it gets out. Another match for Blitzkrieg Pro. Just found out. Andy Brown, the Blitzkrieg champion, the Bedlam champion, is going to be defending, and this is going to be a banger. So you want to be there for this. The Northeast Beast, Alec Price, is challenging for the title on May 12th in Enfield, Connecticut.
Ooh,
It's going to be huge.
ooh. Okay, that see now. Andy's a good friend. Andy is a very good friend of mine. Hung out Saturday night, and Axel saying is BST tickets on sale. I will let you, not yet, Axel, but you're part of the crew, so you know better.
Joe McDonald,
price,
the OG, that's him.
yeah. My money's on Thick Daddy. That's what I'm gonna have to say. I'm sorry, my money is on Thick Daddy.
That's going to be a hell of a match. Let me say,
Yep.
Alec Price against Speedball Mike Bailey was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Price against Andy Brown is a dream match.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, Alec is a great guy, super talented. He's a mat magician. He is a high flyer, and everything that he does will take your breath away inside the ring. But it's Andy. I mean, it's Thick Daddy. Come on. My money's on Thick Daddy. I gotta say, my money for the 1, 2, and 3 retained the belt.
And his
That's
second
what I gotta say.
appearance at BST, he's in the main event. So if that says anything about this guy, there we go.
And he was called out. He was called out. Yeah. And I mean, even Mother Endless, she was called out. She by Evie De La Rosa had called her out and said, anybody could challenge me for the belt. And she looked right across the room and said, unless you had a match here tonight, because I thought Mother Endless was going to storm the ring and take her head off and take you with her. So I'm like, just fantastic. Jack, we are coming up on the hour. Please tell everyone where they can get some fantastic artwork.
Well, I want to tell you where you can get my first 3 trading cards, including Mother Endless, the BST champion Lucas Chase, and the Blitzkrieg Pro Tag Team Champions Miracle Generation, Kylon King and Dustin Flash Waller. These 3
I know all those
are available.
people.
Yeah, you do. You're friends with all the cool people. Those cards are available through me if you DM me on Instagram or Facebook at Jack Purcell Inc. INK. I can hook you up. There are even signed options available. So if you're interested in those cards, they are limited, very limited quantity. They won't be reprinted in this form ever again. So all the cards I make will be very limited production. So if you buy them, you won't have to worry that they're going to be produced over and over again. So those are...
Aren't they autographed? Now, I saw Mother Endless autographing some, and I saw Lucas Chase autographing some. Am I mistaken?
No, that's what I was saying. There are autographed options. So the wrestlers will sign them all. I, of course, will sign them all as well. I sign the back. The talent signs the front. But anyway, those trading cards are going to be expanding each month. There's going to be a few new ones. That's the plan. So those 3 debuted at the BST show, and I think there's going to be more cards debuting at other promotions. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, limited edition, and that's no BS. So if you're interested in them...
BST.
So make sure you hit me up if you're interested. I'm also on Twitter at Jack Purcell 38. If you're on Twitter, Jack Purcell 38, I don't know. I'm just kind of retweeting and promoting a lot of our friends there for the podcast. But let me know if you're interested. I'm open for commissions. So again, Jack Purcell Inc. Just DM me, Instagram, Facebook, and then you can find me here every week with this guy.
Yeah, and I am Lewis Perry. You can find me each and every week, every Tuesday night, with my tag team partner like no other, the ink-slinging Jack Purcell. And you can find me every Monday night live with my sister from another mister, the one and only, that Wonder Woman, Jamie Dolan, and our sidekick, the little sidekick, Quinderella Emily May Hardington as we do the Angry Geek Show. And here's a little teaser for you. You have been watching The Angry Geek Show on Pod TV. Visit our website today. And for guest bookings, email us at theangrygeekshow@gmail.com today.